most people work to get revenue. They work to make money, right? And that's totally fine. Like, and they trade time for money. And I really wanted to make sure I can learn how to trade my skill set for money, so I don't have to work forever. I started my business in 2007, and I've owned and ran it for 17 years since then. I've always prided myself when I was new that if I could generate the first $100,000 like to my business, I can buy myself time to learn. I went in the field the first 5 years by myself, learned the field, got good at the field, generated the money myself, so that way I can buy myself time for the error that I was going to have. I mean, then as I got better at teaching, training, developing people, it kind of just worked itself out together that way. That and just having great people around me. Lou Holtz, who was a coach for Notre Dame for a very while, he talked about like, I'm a good coach when I have good people, and I'm a great coach when I have great people. Sounded very redundant at the time, but it really made sense as I started to run a business. I'm the most grateful for my wife first and foremost, right? Like, I tell people, like, look, if you don't have a good backing, then you're probably not gonna make it in too many things you do. My wife is my biggest supporter. She's my biggest cheerleader. She's also my biggest coach. She's my biggest person to push me, to drive me to be better, to see what my threshold is. That has to be the most person I'm most grateful for. But then I have great people around me. I have Naomi that's around me that helps me become better, that does not always yes man me, doesn't always tell me what I want to hear, tells me what I need to hear. And that's what I've really tried to surround myself with. It's not people that always say yes to me, but always give me a different insight. It's funny because I have friends that are starting businesses, and it's funny, as I've gotten older, I've started to migrate to people that own businesses because it's what I like and know. They always try to have a plan of attack before they actually make the attack. And sometimes you just have to put both feet in the water and go for it. What I always tell people is like, look, you can overplan it. You can have every duck in the row and things will still go wrong, right? Sometimes you just have to jump both feet in the water and just go. So the best advice to give people is like, look, if you have a good idea, go test it out, see if it works, right? Then build the model after that, but test it to see if it works first. My son and daughter both play sports at a high level, and they love it, and that's something they're really driven on. And when I first started kind of working with them, I was the overly aggressive parent. I was the one that wanted to be involved in everything, coach them, drive them. And I remember a time where my son, probably 7 or 8 at the time, and he committed his third foul in the first half. I had to pull him out, and I started to yell at him, and then he started to cry and then wanted to punch me, and I realized right there, I was like, I can't parent this way, right? One, I'm not gonna have the longevity, and two, he's not gonna be involved very much longer. So I started to go, okay, well, that's not what I would do at work. So let me try to do what I do at work, relate to somebody, find out why they did it, and then kind of give them a different alternative look at it. And it's helped out a lot. Right? My kids like me more, which is great. My wife doesn't have to worry about me screaming at the ref because I realize like whatever happens, whatever the outcome is, they have to deal with it. And it's helped out a lot, right? And especially my relationship with them too. You know, when you're trying to coach people to go through online negatives, it's tough because one, there's emotions involved. Right? Like you know who you are as a person, you know who you are as a core person, and they see a negative about them or their business and they take it personally. My business name is Name Vincero, and it means I will win in Italian. But more importantly, it was named after my best friend who was battling cancer. It was his mantra, his like everything. We built shirts, it was kind of like his rally cry. Unfortunately, he passed away. And I did have somebody attack the business. What I tell people is like, you can't take it personally. They're not attacking you, they don't know you. They don't know you as a person, they don't know your company, they don't know what you stand for. They're attacking something because they probably feel a certain way and they want other people to feel that certain way. So you just can't take offense to it. And it's hard to do because we are emotional creatures. The best advice I ever got, very simple, don't give up, don't quit, right? And it sounded so simple and easy at the time, right? But what they really meant was like, if you keep going, something will finally start to break, right? And they related it to like working out. Like the first couple weeks you're working out, you're sore, it's painful, it sucks, right? And then after a while, you start to feel better, which makes you start to see better, and then you'll start to like grow better too. The best advice was just don't give up, just keep going, right? And at the end of it was gonna be what I wanted. I mean, the biggest tip I can give you on like finances itself is like, most people work to get revenue. They work to make money, right? And that's totally fine. Like, and they trade time for money. And I really wanted to make sure I can learn how to trade my skill set for money, so I don't have to work forever. Like, a lot of the times, most people are very stressed over finances. I think it's something like 50% of people every day when they wake up and they go to bed, they're stressed over money. And that's something I didn't want to live with my whole life. So I wanted to figure a way to be able to save money and put money aside, so that way I can have choices in life, right? And when I started this business, my overall budget, like, or my overall break even, if you would say, was like a certain amount. And I wanted it, as I grew with the business, to stay the same, not grow, because I didn't want that stress. And it gave me options in life. The coolest thing I've ever done is not like a trip, which we've done trips, we've gone to France, we've gone to London, we've gone to Italy, which were great, right? But the coolest thing is giving my kids what they love to do and being able to be there for them, right? My daughter plays soccer and she travels a lot. She's gonna be in St. Louis next week. She's gonna be in North Carolina, California, and all that. And I get to go to everyone, right? I don't have to worry about, do I have the money? Do I have the finances? My son's playing basketball. They're going to Vienna in 3 months. For, I think it's like the FIFA World Championships or something like that. And our team and myself, we get to go. Those are things that right now sound very normal, but as they get older, they're gonna see that those are things that most parents weren't able to do. And that's something I saw growing up as well. My dad worked really, really hard. Didn't own a business, but worked for a Fortune 500 company and did very, very well for himself. But when I went to West Virginia to go play football, he was the only dad that took me there. He was actually the only dad that came to every game. Whenever I played a football game or a basketball game from high school and above, he never missed a game no matter where it was, which is something I wanted to give back to my kids. So that, to me, was the most important thing.